Mr. John Calvin Martin. John Calvin, thanks so much for being with us, sir.
Oh, thank you, Paul, for having me back on.
Yeah, so how have things been going? What's going on down there in South Arkansas?
Man, I'm telling you, we are so excited about the efforts that we're putting forth, the things that are getting done. It is a slow and a long process, but, man, we are seeing some great and encouraging things happening with our people and across the state, actually. We're doing all kinds of new meetings, and you covered it a week or so ago, the Kilt Walk in Fayetteville, open carry Kilt Walk, which I'm going to be honest with you, I just get hysterical every time I think about that. That is so awesome that we have the right to not only open carry, but to promote the heritage behind the kilts. And, again, I don't know that I could wear one. That's not my heritage.
Well, you'd be appropriating somebody else's culture. The left would have a meltdown. You can't appropriate culture.
Absolutely. I got in a discussion about that, because somebody on our page, on our main page, said, "Well, I just don't believe that's what POA 746 is about." Well, I believe it is, because it's about our heritage and our rights. And I told that guy, I said, it'd be the same difference with me walking down the street, open carrying with a rebel flag.
Yeah,
I'm from the South. That's my heritage, And so, even though that stirs some things up in another aspect, of course, but man, we're having such a great time. It is awesome. I'm loving traveling across the state, meeting new people, and Paul, I'm just blown away that people really have bought into the narrative that the government knows best for us, and they are our friends, and they take care of us, and we should always obey what they say, even if it contradicts the laws. And I grew up that way. A good person is someone who never questions. Well, that's just not the American way.
That's true.
We were founded on people that were just tired of being bullied and being ruled by tyrants. And I want to be careful there, because I don't ever want to give the impression that we're a bunch of lunatics running around wanting to shoot somebody. That's just not what POA 746 is about at all. We're pastors, we're business owners, we're farmers, we're people that just love our country and love our rights. And, man, we're traveling across the state and having meetings. And down here in southeast Arkansas, it's a little harder because of the mindset, But we're definitely educating people and talking to people. We've got we had a meeting in Warren, Arkansas, just a few weeks ago, and decided to do an open carry walk because some of the officials. Let me rephrase that. We had heard that some of the officials said, "Well, there won't be no guns carried around here." Well, that's just not what was said. Senator Linda Collins Smith came down, visited with some of the officers, the Leos there in town, and everything just was awesome. They even took pictures together. I mean, it was just amazing, just an amazing time.
Good for her, Good for her using her platform to say, "Hey, this is credible. This is what the law says."
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you said the mindset, though. You said because of the mindset down here. What is that mindset? Is it the mindset that we find on the radical left that say that guns kill people? It's not the evil heart of man that is acting to kill somebody.
Yes, I'm afraid that there's a whole generation that has grown up. When I was in high school, it was very hard to find a pickup in the parking lot of the high school that didn't have a shotgun or a 22 in the rack in the back window, because we would go hunting, either on the way to school or after school. But that's not the generation we live in now, and because of social media and movies and all the nonsense, guns have been portrayed as evil, and only evil people have them. And boy, that couldn't be further from the truth, Paul. And of course, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but if we're not careful, what we do is we any rights that we have that are regulated are soon to be taken away from us. And and it's almost paradoxical, but one of the greatest sayings that's ever been said was that only way to stop a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun. has nothing to do with the tool. And as I think me and you spoke one other time, you know, the first mass killing in the Old Testament was in Genesis, and it was with a rock. You know, Cain killed Abel with a rock, and a fourth of the population was taken out. Mm-hmm. So it had nothing to do with the tool. There are just as many people that could be killed with a knife or a box cutter. You know, well, what are we going to do? We can't start regulating the box cutter.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and the other, so the reason the left is against this idea of, you know, arming, people having the right to bear arms or people having semi-automatic weapons is because of public safety. I mean, that's what they say, right?
Yeah, now, that's what they say.
Now, that's what they say. Now, I can take their argument and I can just show them the footage of the Salt Bowl false alarm with all of the people running for cover unarmed, and that's how the government actually sees us. They see us as sheep. I saw a meme the other day on Twitter, and it was a bunch of sheep, and it was looking straight at the camera lens, and it was like, after Kavanaugh, we're just waiting for what to be outraged at next. Basically, they're waiting on the media to tell them. This is what it said. Anyway, that the government sees us as these sheep, and they would rather have you cowering in War Memorial Stadium or running for your life or taking, like that father did, just like here we go, sweetie, takes his girl by the hand and just starts to try to get towards the exit because they think there's a shooting going on. That's how the government would rather you be than be able to have a gun to protect yourself out in public, and that is radically offensive to me. But that aside, John Calvin, what I would like to talk about as far as guns go is the reason why our founding fathers, the main reason was because they had just defeated the most powerful military force in the world at the time, the Redcoats, Great Britain, who were oppressive, who didn't want them to have guns. And they understood that they were this close, that the American government was this close. The newly formed American government could flip in an instant. It could flip in a day, and they would need to secure their liberties again because they understood that a government, that a powerful government can suppress the people. And, when you say that today, and I think that's the main argument, but when you say that today, people have so much faith and confidence. Oh, America would never do that because America never has done that, which is not necessarily true if you look through our history. But yeah, talk about that. That's the main reason why our right to human defense is so important.
Well, and again, Paul, I think, and this is a much deeper discussion, that through our educational system, we have been duped into believing that, again, our government is for us, and they know what's best for us. Ronald Reagan, I real regularly go to his statement of when we feel like a far and distant government can rule our lives better and know what's better for us than we do, then we're a nation that's already in trouble. And I believe that with all my heart. Because nobody knows how to protect my family better than I do. Back to your statement, I'm afraid that we have been indoctrinized to believe that the government, that the welfare system, these things are made to take care of us to the point until we have literally became, as you said earlier, sheep. My problem with that is that if you read history and you study history, then you understand there was most definitely a time in our history, as far as America, that people had to stand up. I've seen that on Facebook. I'm sure you have too. The little meme that says, "By this, if our forefathers had been here today, they would already be shooting." And that's literally the reason we have become where we are now, because somebody stood up and said, "Hey, enough is enough. We can't take anymore." It's, again, I don't want to make that sound radical, because that's not what POA 746 is about. We're not radicals. And I've said this to you before. It's not about trying to overthrow the government. It's trying to make sure the government doesn't overthrow us. Mm-hmm. And as far as assault weapons, and that's a real crazy term anyway, assault weapons. But when America was founded, the American Patriots had the same kind of equipment, same kind of military weapons that the government did, and I think that's always the way it should be. I had somebody ask me the other day, what about these AR-15s? I mean, who hunts with the AR-15? Well, I've got a lot of friends that do that.
Me too. I have one that hunts with one.
Oh, absolutely. I've got several friends that do, and they're good for that. But when we founded, when America was founded, they didn't worry. They weren't worried about the deer uprising. They weren't worried about the wild animals.
Are you sure they weren't worried about the deer uprising? I mean, come on, they're trespassers. They're on your land. They
and they have horns.
They've got horns. They eat your resources, and then they defecate all through your woods. That's your property.
Absolutely.
They weren't worried about an uprising of deer then.
Right, exactly. They were, and in particular, even to this day, we should be able to defend ourselves against anybody or any tyrannical people or any tyrannical government that tries to take away our rights. And again, not trying to be radical, that has nothing to do with it, but it is my God-given right to be able to defend myself, defend my property, and defend my family. And if we're not careful, what we do is we literally, we're our own worst enemies at times because we want to trust people that can't be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a simple fact of it. If there was no worries about somebody breaking in my house, well, then I would not need a gun. But as we've seen since Genesis, that human nature, that Adamic nature, is always going to be to have to worry about other people.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think we should have to walk around in fear. But you know what? I had a guy ask me. I carry all the time, and everywhere I go. A guy asked me. He said, "Well, what are you scared of?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, not much, because I carry."
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Hey, John Calvin Martin, appreciate it with the Patriots of X746. It's always great to talk to you, sir, and we will do this again soon.